This anime tells the story of a trash who doesn't have any titles. Since childhood, he has only been called Zagan by the people around him. He doesn't know who his parents are, and he even lives his daily life without friends. Nevertheless, he manages to become a great sorcerer and owns his own territory. He also avoids dealing with women because he finds them troublesome. But there's one moment that makes Zagan fall in love at first sight with a slave girl. Because of that, Zagan immediately buys the slave girl, takes care of her, cherishes her, and eventually gets conception of his seed. No, that's not what I meant. Never mind. The story begins when there is a sorcerer soldier who is about to cultivate with a girl in a forest. When their cultivation is about to begin, Zagan interrupts the soldier's action because he greatly disturbs Zagan's sleep time. Then the soldier begged Zagan for forgiveness and promised to give the results of his magic research to Zagan. But Zagan is not interested in the weak magic research of the soldier and immediately kills him. Of course, this murder incident shocks the girl and she faints. Zagan feels guilty because he provided an uncomfortable spectacle for the girl. Therefore, Zagan immediately restores the soldier's form, tidies up and cleans the girl's clothes from bloodstains. Then Zagan notices a cross necklace worn by the girl. Zagan understands that the girl is an apostle of the church and will return her there. Although apostles are enemies of sorcerers, Zagan still wants to do good to her. When Zagan is about to move the girl through teleportation magic, suddenly his magic is hacked by Barbatos as usual. Barbatos borrows Zagan's magic to teleport to Zagan's territory. Barbatos wonders why Zagan saved a girl from the attack of a sorcerer soldier. Zagan is known as a sadistic man. Even he kills fellow sorcerers without caring who they are. Then Zagan will confiscate all the belongings of the sorcerers if he needs them. Zagan does not respond to Barbatos' words and immediately returns the girl to her place. Barbatos regrets Zagan's actions because the girl could be used as a sacrifice to obtain magic or summon demon monsters. Then Barbatos tells Zagan that the treasure of one of the oldest archdemons, named Marchosias, who is 1,000 years old, will be auctioned off on a large scale in the Kyanoids region. Marchosias is the head of the archdemons and is the oldest archdemon since the first generation. There are 13 archdemons deliberately formed to cover up the true power of the Demon King. The 13 archdemons have been blessed with some of the Demon King's power. Also, they are the highest rank among sorcerers, and the lowest rank will be a servant, even a slave. Back to the auction topic. Barbatos invites Zagan to the auction place because he wants to borrow money from Zagan. Marchosias has many valuable treasures. Barbatos also promises that he will provide 2 beautiful women for Zagan. In Zagan's mind, he is actually interested in women or young girls, but he is lazy to approach them because they are very troublesome. Zagan also sees some soldiers rushing with their affairs. Barbatos says that recently there have been incidents of chain kidnappings carried out by sorcerers. Their target is only young girls to be sacrificed to summon demon monsters. Of course, this will cause a commotion with the church as well. Zagan and Barbatos are also suspected sorcerers in the case. When they arrived at the auction place, there were already many sorcerers present there. Valefor, alias the Apparition, Gremory, the Enchantress, Kimaris, the Black Blade. They are the strongest sorcerers who have become candidates for the next archdemon, including Barbatos, the Purgatory, and Zagan, non-alias. Since Marchosias has died, the current 12 archdemons are discussing who will be the next archdemon to replace Marchosias. Then the auction will soon end because they offer a slave who will actually be sent to Marchosias before he dies. When the auctioneer opens the slave's robe, it turns out she is a beautiful elf girl who is very rare in this world, and is auctioned at a very cheap price. Slaves can be used as sacrifices, and even as objects of pleasure for anyone who buys them. After seeing the beauty of the elf girl, Zagan's heart beats very fast because he feels love for the first time. Without hesitation, Zagan is willing to spend the money he brought all in to buy that beautiful slave girl.
1万から始めてまいりますよ。100万だ。
ずっと欲しかったものをやっと見つけた気がする。そしてその肌に触れてみたい。助けてやりたい。笑った顔を見てみたい。愛しい。そう表現すればいいのだろうか。
おいザガン、いくらエルフだってそんな大金。
キュリオテス金貨で100万枚だ。
ありがとうございます。素晴らしい。
一体どんな魔術を使うつもりなんだ。
Zagan doesn't want any other sorcerer to have her. Of course, the sorcerers in the hall were surprised by the amount of money Zagan offered for a weak slave. When Zagan approached the elf slave girl, He was confused about what to say to her. Then Zagan noticed the chain necklace around the neck of the elf slave girl, and the necklace turned out to function to block her powers. If the necklace is removed, it is likely that the elf slave girl will escape with her extraordinary magical powers. But the auction house does not know how to remove the necklace. The auctioneer said that Zagan also does not need to worry because the body shape and beauty of this elf girl are still original. It means that there is no magic that changes her body shape and beauty. Then Zagan thanked and trusted the auctioneer's words there. If the elf slave girl does not have a good and melodious voice, Zagan will be very angry with the auction house. Of course, everyone there was surprised by Zagan's words. It's as if he wants to satisfy his desire for the elf slave girl. Well, Zagan actually just wants to talk to her. After that, Zagan takes the elf slave girl home and they introduce themselves. However, at the beginning of their introduction, it's a really weird moment. The elf slave girl's name is Nephilia, and she is usually called Nephi. She always assumes that Zagan bought her just to be killed or used as a sacrifice. Nephi even asked how Zagan would kill her later. Of course, Zagan became more confused with Nephi, whose mind was filled with thoughts of death. Zagan is a man who is difficult to express his feelings. He has no friends, and only Barbatos usually talks to him. Moreover, he is very innocent in responding to matters of love. Therefore, he also finds it difficult to converse with Nephi, and sometimes Zagan responds to Nephi using harsh words, which he actually does not want to say to his beloved Nephi. Nephi also offers her virginity to Zagan because Nephi does not understand why Zagan bought her. Zagan blushes because Nephi shows that to him. Zagan is truly in love with Nephi. Even he likes the name Nephilia because it is a very beautiful name. But Nephi does not have a last name, just like Zagan. Then Zagan will escort Nephi to choose her room as she pleases in Zagan's palace. Of course, Nephi still thinks that she will be killed soon because Zagan has prepared a corpse room for her. For Nephi, a cursed child like her seems unworthy of living. Zagan assures Nephi that he will not kill her. Zagan really can't believe that his beloved Nephi is already like a girl who has no hope of living. But Zagan justifies it because Nephi must have gone through years of life as a slave. At least, Zagan has to start his relationship with Nephi slowly. Zagan doesn't understand the meaning of the cursed child mentioned by Nephi. Therefore, he will wait for Nephi to explain the details about herself. Then Zagan finally succeeded in stating his intention that he intentionally bought Nephi because Zagan needed her. So, Zagan hopes that his beloved Nephi will not talk about death continuously. Zagan wants Nephi to live for Zagan forever. Of course, Zagan's words surprised Nephi, and Nephi agreed to comply with Zagan's wishes. When Zagan escorts Nephi to each room in his palace, there is a moment where Nephi almost falls down the stairs. Of course, Zagan immediately saves her like a prince who is intoxicated with love for his princess. Even Zagan also becomes addicted to holding Nephi's hand until they find a suitable room. However, Zagan suddenly remembers that there are some rooms filled with items for executions, including the room they are visiting now.
どうぞご主人様のお望みのまま。
違うからな。
Then Zagan immediately makes the items disappear. Those items actually belong to the previous owner of this palace, and Zagan hadn't had a chance to clean them up. After seeing Zagan's magic power, Nephi is very surprised because she has never seen such magic before. Then they enter the room, and Nephi goes to the balcony there to see the beautiful moonlight. Zagan guesses that his beloved Nephi might like the crescent moon like this. Nephi finally decides to stay there and respects Zagan's decision, while also thanking him. After hearing Nephi's words, Zagan's heart melts because he hasn't received thanks like that for a long time. Likewise with Nephi, who can finally express her gratitude after being a slave for so long. From here, their absurd love story will begin.
何もつかめんな。
だと思います。
そうか。